All right, so here we go for the number sense and algebra review. So if we look at this, what does the exponent mean? Okay, let's do two parts here. Here is the power of the exponent, and this right here, this larger number, okay, is the base. So what we do is this power tells you how many times the base is repeated. So there's 1 2, there's another 2, and there's another 2, 3 2's. So this 3 tells you how many times to multiply. 2 times 2 times 2. There are 3 2's. So if you go ahead and do that on your calculator, you can use that and say 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. Or there's a power button and you can use, this is 2 to the power of 3 equals 8. Either way, it doesn't matter which one you use. This smaller number tells you how many times to repeat the base. So this is an important part of BEDMAS. We have BEDMAS right here, which stands for brackets, exponents, which we just discussed above. Then we have division and multiplication. We have to do them in the order as they appear, and we have to do them from left to right. In this way, we don't make a mistake, and we always get the same answer. Then we have addition and subtraction. Okay. Again, we also do those in the order they appear from left to right. Okay. So we'll use BEDMAS to do the next two examples. So right here, I'm going to look. First thing is, I look for exponents. There are none. Then I'm going to look for brackets, and I do see some right here, so I'm going to do what's inside of them first. So I'm going to copy down everything I don't use. Now I want to look inside the brackets. I have to do BEDMAS again inside the brackets. So I see a plus and I see a divide. But it says right here I need to do division and multiplication before addition or subtraction. So 5 plus, and I'm going to do this math right here, 28 divided by 4. If you need your calculator, go ahead and use it. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Keep those brackets around there. Now I want to get rid of those brackets and add 5 plus 7. My 7's still on the calculator, so let's add 5 to that, and I get 12. So finally I have 45 minus 12. Then in your calculator, and you get 33. And there is your answer. So you're not always writing everything from the left to the right. I always read it from left to the right, but make sure I'm doing BEDMAS. Let's go ahead and look at this next one. So when I look at this question, I think, oh, right away, I see exponents. I need to take care of that first. So I'm going to do that first. So there's my 8. Now 3 squared means 3 times 3. So put down my sign in front of there. 3 times 3 is 9. Write down the rest of what I didn't do. I can't do the subtraction because if we noticed, there's multiplication first. So I'm going to write down everything I don't use. All right, now there is a negative sign here, but you could think of it as this is brackets here because I need to do the multiplication first. So write down the negative and just do what's inside the brackets. 2 times 4, which is 8. If you need to do it in a calculator, that's fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this from left to right. So 8 plus 9 is 17. And then write down whatever you didn't do. Because that part right there was the 8 plus 9. And now I have to subtract 8, and I get 9. Okay, so you have to make sure the order of operations is right, because then we always get the same answer. If we didn't follow order of operations, we would not get the same answer. All right, integers, which is essentially adding and subtracting, but we have signs in front of them. So the first thing we're going to have to do is remove brackets, okay? And then we'll have to write a plus or a minus. What we notice, if the signs are the same, we will add. If the signs are different, we'll subtract, okay? Multiplying and dividing are a little bit different, okay? When you multiply or divide numbers with the same sign will be positive. Oh. When we think of add is positive, and I think of positive as being positive. When we multiply and divide two numbers with different signs, the answer will be negative. Okay? So it's kind of like the same rule, to be quite honest. So let's go ahead and use that. So here we go. Here, so when we see signs with brackets, what we want to do is get rid of all the brackets and just have one sign in front of each number. So right here, these brackets are on a positive number. Positive number is the same as adding, so we can just write down the 5. But here we have subtracting a negative. Okay? When the signs are the same, you add. So subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. So we can just add, oops, sorry, that should be a 3. And there we go, there's our 3. Now here, when we have a negative and a positive, okay, they're different, so I have to subtract. So just put subtract 5. Now we've gotten rid of all of our brackets. So now I want to do the math. 5 plus 3 is 8, and I still haven't done this subtracting 5. I go ahead and do that. 8 subtract 5 is 3. If you need your calculator, use it. It's not a big deal. You don't want to get the wrong answer just because you make a little mistake. So here we go. Let's take a look at this. This is a combination of adding, subtracting, maybe multiplying and dividing. So when I look here, I have a plus, a division, and a multiplication. So I want to go from left to right, and I need to do multiplication and division first. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at these two. Negative 3 times negative 2. That's two negatives, so that means it's going to be a positive value. 3 times 2 is 6. Write down the positive, and I'm going to be left with negative 15 times positive 5. So right here, these brackets are with a positive, so really I can just get rid of them. But I cannot add this yet. I need to take care of this division. This is the math I need to do first. So I'm going to write down the plus here, and now I'm going to do the math. It's almost like you can imagine brackets around this. So a negative and a positive ends up being a negative. And then you do 15 divided by 5 is 3. So that's the division we were talking about, but now I have to do adding a negative. Well, adding a negative, a plus and a minus, they're opposite, so we're going to be subtracting. 6 minus 3 is 3. Okay, so you have to go through that process. Check the signs. First we do the multiplication and division. Keep your brackets on. It's really not good form if you write it like this because you don't really know what's going on. Don't do that. Use brackets to separate your signs. So that's the number sense and algebra review.